First of all, I'd like to thank everyone here for being present to help celebrate the stellar naval career of Professor Jackson. She checked on board back in May of 2011 and immediately went to work helping to improve our video department. She did this by getting rid of our old videotape camera systems, doing extensive research, and eventually helping to procure the tapeless high-definition video camera, which ultimately streamlined and reduced the overall time it took in capturing, digitizing, and editing our video products. As she was wrapping that up, she was shot out the door, acting as the team lead for the biannual exercise Talepin Sabre, held in the land down under, Australia. Now, I know that sounds like a really nice gig, but it was a field conditions, sleeping in tents, 100-yard walks in the dark to the bathrooms. Not the first thing you think of when you think of Australia. However, she loved doing this kind of work, and through her leadership and past ComCam experiences, her and her team excelled in every way possible. Not much longer after that, she deployed to Bahrain for 6 months, where she did a little bit of everything, to include vessel boarding, search, and seizures, which means climbing up a rope on a swaying ship wearing a full kit. She produced exceptional imagery and products for the task force. Professor Jackson, thank you so much for your 20 years of naval service, what you've done for this command. You're one of the strongest women I've ever had the pleasure of working with. You have a great personality, you're devoted to your work, reliable, you constantly produce exceptional results, you don't give up when you believe in something, and besides being a sailor, you're an outstanding mother. It's these traits that you'll carry with you into the civilian sector, and I have no doubt that you'll be successful.
Department of the Navy. This is to certify that the Secretary of the Navy has awarded a Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Gold Star in lieu of Second Award, to Mass Communications Specialist First Class Surface Warfare, Krishna M. Jackson, United States Navy. 4. Meritorious service as Training Department Leading Petty Officer at Fleet Combat Camera Pacific from May 2011 to May 2013. Petty Officer Jackson demonstrated and an outstanding technical knowledge, leading 75 active and reserve photographers, obtaining the highest degree of readiness and direct support of the global combat operation. She skillfully redesigned and managed the command's biannual high-risk field exercise, improving combat documentation skills of 70 joint service and international combat cameramen and women. Petty Officer Jackson reflected great credit upon herself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Certificate of Appreciation from Fleet Combat Camera Pacific to Ms. Sharon M. Peterson and Ms. Invested in Me, it is my Jesse Sweet. By the authorities invested in me, it is my pleasure to express a grateful appreciation of the United States Navy for your faithful and dedicated service during MC-1 Krishna Jackson's naval career. Your unfailing support and understanding helped make possible MC-1 Jackson's lasting contribution to the nation. Will MC-1 Jackson's children, Sari and Ethan, please join her on the stage? Certificate of Appreciation from Combat Camera Pacific to Ms. Ariana Wilson and Ethan Spence. By the authority invested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful of appreciation of the United States Navy for your faithful and dedicated service during your mother's naval career. Your unfailing support and understanding helped make possible your mother's lasting contribution to the nation. MC-1 Jackson will forever belong to the First Class Petty Officers Mess, and her fellow First Classes would like to present her with a token of their appreciation. The Shadow Box contains the history of a sailor's career. From the commands they've served to the awards they've received, it is a symbol of honor.
I want to start with thanking my family. I couldn't have done this without them. Sharon Peterson is my mother-in-law. She's Ariana's grandmother. She has been a part of my life since like 2005 or so, 2006. And when Ariana came into my life, I was more than blessed and happy to have her in my life, but I did wonder how I was going to make it work as a single parent, being in the Navy and having to go to sea. Because of Sharon, I was able to deploy to Afghanistan, and able to deploy to Bahrain and fulfill my commitments to the Navy, and be there for my daughter, have someone there for my daughter that I trusted and could leave with and not lose my mind out there 10,000 miles away. Then there's my daughter, Sariana, and she's just turned 6 years old, and so she's been through a lot. She's sacrificed a lot as my daughter, and to see me leave and come back. And when she was 4 years old and I told her I was leaving for Bahrain, and she asked me about Bahrain, and I said, well, I'm gonna go chase pirates. And she's like, I'm a big girl now, I can hunt pirates too. So I told her, don't worry, I'll be back. Throughout my entire life, my mother, Jessie, has been there. She's been someone I could always talk to whenever, about anything. Whenever things were personal or work related, I could count on her to be that shoulder I could lean on. And now she's here, and we're living together, and we're raising my daughter and my nephew together. My nephew lives out here now with me, and I think that my career is coming to an end at the perfect time, because it has taken a tremendous amount of coordination and support from the Navy, from my chain of command, and from my family in order for me to be a single parent and be in the military. So I think things worked out perfectly, because now that my family has grown exponentially and I have a lot more responsibility that I need to be here for, I get to do that after serving 20 years. So I wanted to thank you, Mom, Sari, Ethan, and Sharon, for being there for me this whole time and making this moment right now possible, because without you I couldn't have done it. Next, I want to thank my shipmates, from my most senior leadership to the personnel that I've worked with all these years, and more recently. I've kind of had, as a leader, I've kind of had the mindset of, I have a hard time calling anybody a subordinate. I don't look at them that way. Everybody brings something to the table. Everybody is part of the team. You have your leadership, you have those you have to look up to for guidance and direction, and someone's always looking to you for guidance and direction. But I never consider anyone my subordinate. I consider them my peers or my leadership, and I hope that I've imparted a good and positive leadership role. I've filled that and given that to everyone, a good impression. I have mixed feelings. I'm saying goodbye to a life I've known for 20 years of having to come up with a plan at the last minute, of having to figure things out, of having to suck it up when I don't like something, or something that, I'm being made to do something I don't really care for, I don't agree with a policy, or something like that. And I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it terribly. But I know there's a new adventure out there waiting for me, and a new life that's waiting for me, and I'm going to take everything that I learned here and use it out there to my advantage. There are certain people two people specifically that I want to mention today, that I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for their support. Master Chief Edwards, you let me come to combat camera because you believed in my reputation. You believed that I'd be a good fit for the command. And even when I had my challenges and things were not easy and I wanted to give up, you didn't give up on me. You put a foot up my ass and you told me get out the door and go deploy and don't look back. You got a job to do and you can do it despite some of the challenges that you're facing, and you believed in me, and it helped me through a very hard time. And ultimately, whenever a decision had to be made, good or bad, you advised the chain of command as to the direction to take, and you supported me, and they supported me, and that's why I'm here today to retire and say goodbye to 20 years in the Navy. And it was worth it, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Commander Young, for being a very supportive leader and having my back and helping me get to this point as well. I'm glad to have ended my career working for a chain of command that, despite my troubles and how hard it was for me to get here, believed in me and helped me get here. I don't think I could have done it with anybody else. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to my fellow first classes, and I pray to God that I've taught you something, because you certainly have taught me a lot, and I will always carry my rank and be proud of what I achieved, even though I wanted to achieve more. I say, learn from me and my mistakes, and never stop believing in yourself, and go after what you want.
I have been a silent witness to all America's finest hours, but my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle, when I fly half-mast to honor my soldiers, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at a gravesite of her fallen son or daughter. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, long may I wave.
The watch. For 20 years, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in our bunks at night, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in school learning our trade, this shipmate stood the watch. Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this shipmate stood the watch. In those years when the storm clouds of war were seen brewing on the horizon of history, this shipmate stood the watch. Many times she would cast an eye ashore and see her family standing there, needing her guidance and help, needing that hand to hold during those hard times, but she still stood the watch. She stood the watch for 20 years. She stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety each and every night, knowing that this sailor stood the watch. Today we are here to say, shipmate, the watch stands relieved. Relieved by those you have trained, guided, and led. Shipmate, you stand relieved. We have the watch. Bosun, stand by to pipe the side. Shipmate going ashore.
After 20 years of dedicated service, this certificate is awarded as a testimonial of faithful and honorable service. United States Navy Petty Officer, First Class, retired, departing